Please don't tell me.
Why they got a damn? Uh-oh. They
See?
didn't get you, did they?
Huh? Please don't do this shit, man. Okay, here we go. All right. Oh, sorry. The new oil war. OPEC moves against the U.S. Big news happened in the international foreign relations. What's going on? Saudi Arabia and the OPEC, the ones who control the oil, what they call the oil cartel over there. Remember when a couple months ago, back in July, when Biden was telling Saudi Arabia to produce more barrels of oil to lower the price of gas and stuff? And before that, a few months before that, when he first got in office, he spoke against Saudi Arabia because of Mohammed bin Salman. Or however you say his name. He led to the the killing and the chopping up of what's the guy's name? Jamal Khashoggi, the journalist for the Washington Post, if I'm not mistaken. So Biden came in. He said he didn't know if he wanted to give him Mohammed at least diplomatic immunity, and he said that he was going to make him a pariah. Well, when the oil situation happened, the first thing he did was he went to Saudi Arabia on his trip, and he gave him a fist bump. And to a lot of people in the international community, that was a sign of weakness. Why would you give him the fist bump when you said you're going to make him a pariah? And apparently when he had the sit down with them, he didn't even talk about oil. He talked about that Jamal Khashoggi situation. So what happened was he asked them to produce more oil. And with this announcement here, they're now going to produce 2 million less barrels of oil.
So that means they have... They've sided with
Russia and China, or at least Russia in this situation. So now it looks like the relationship that America founded with Saudi Arabia when they decided to leave the gold standard, that is in danger, not just from the situation with the dollar being backed by oil, their military alliance may break up.
So who's in danger?
I wouldn't say America's in danger.
Exactly. America's not in danger. Because whether they got oil, gold, or anything, they always got lead.
America's dollar is backed by lead first.
By lead first.
So they've agreed to lower the amount of oil they're going to produce. And you see here, Ron, she said it's time. They said it's time to use an all of the above energy policy to break up the OPEC plus cartel. But it wasn't that 2 years ago. Well, you were okay with it existing.
Things change.
U.S. oil industry mocks Biden after OPEC announces production cuts. Energy groups say administration now has no choice but to come crawling back to domestic producers. Well, we know they're not going to do that.
Because they want
less energy. They want to change the source of energy. They want to go green.
Exactly.
The first thing Biden did when he got into office was cut off the oil production that Trump started in the country domestically. Apparently, and I don't know if this is true, but the narrative they push is that Trump had America completely energy independent. They didn't need any other oil or anything from another country. That's what they say, at least. They said that the reserve was full and all this other stuff. They may be lies. I'm pretty sure he was selling it
He's using the reserve now.
And Biden is using the reserve. He just announced another 1 million barrels of oil will be used from the reserve. And that's been going on for the last, 6 months, 3 months? They've been using the reserve oil, 1 million barrels, another 1 million barrels a day. That's crazy. But U.S. oil, right here, another thing, remember we showed, what was that, a month ago, 3 weeks ago? When we showed that Obama said before he got in office, 2008, that his plan would raise energy prices and it would destroy the coal industry. Well, it definitely destroyed the coal industry. He wasn't able to get to the energy prices thing. But, I mean, if you pay attention to what's going on, you can make an argument that somebody is having a third, what they call term. I'm just saying.
You better watch what you say because, YouTube has guidelines of conspiracies and stuff. You can't talk like that no more.
Somebody having a third term right now. So he might be doing this. He said that he was going to raise energy prices and he was going to, get rid of the coal industry and all that other stuff. U.S. oil industry trade goods lashed out at the White House, and they already said that they're going to move some of their oil production to Mexico. So that means they're going to give those factories, those jobs to the Mexico citizens, and they're going to ship that to Europe because America wants to get in where Russia is out. America wants to be the supplier to Europe for oil and energy. It's all about, and of course, Israel is somewhat tied to that with the oil.
Israel always has to make an appearance.
All right.
Everything loading slow.
The U.S. dollar is backed by the concept of the petrodollar. Ask Gaddafi and others that try to do a gold standard that happens to them. Yeah, exactly. As a matter of fact, I saw someone say that the reason why America went away from the gold standards because the UK back in the day when they turned from gold to oil, pretty much, the UK they were cashing out their dollars for gold, but America couldn't. They couldn't keep up with the pace. Look, we know that gold is not in that vault. Back in the day when they did that special where they opened up the vault that belonged to that mobster, and then they opened it and nothing was in there. That's what happened if they open up the vault for gold. Ain't gonna be shit in there. That shit is somewhere with the Rothschild. I cut it off. That shit is somewhere with a family. They got a lot of money. There ain't no gold in that safe. But America couldn't keep up. Yeah, America couldn't keep up with giving UK all the gold for the dollars they were trading in. So they said, F it, bump it, and just went to the oil. They went to Saudi Arabia, said, we'll give you our military and protect you if you take our dollar and back our dollar with your oil. But we know earlier this year, we heard that, or a couple months ago, we heard that Afghanistan and all those other places, Saudi Arabia, I'm sorry, they were looking at China and thinking about putting their oil behind the yuan. They wouldn't even taking Biden's calls.
Nope.
They were disrespectful. They wouldn't even taking his calls. They were ignoring
his calls.
So,
and then he went over there. That was like, you're the president of the United States, the president of the free world, and you have to go to another country because they won't answer your phones.
That was supposed to be a trip for Kamala Harris, but they don't trust her. They don't trust Kamala Harris, so they sent Biden, who's just as, he's not as trustworthy either. He'll say something stupid.
Well, no, he'll try to shake the air or talk to ghosts, or
he say some dumb shit too.
He's a ghostbuster.
He say dumb shit too. Russia signs fuel deal with Taliban. So after America spent 20 years in Afghanistan trying to get those $1 trillion worth of minerals, they left $80 billion in weapons and money. Remember the big ass crates of money they found?
And Trump said, "Why would you leave?
Why would you leave that? Because you leaving it. We know why he was leaving it with the CIA assets, the Taliban. But anyway, the Taliban now has a deal with Russia just to get fuel. But what is Russia planning on getting back? It said the Taliban struggling to navigate Afghanistan through an economic and humanitarian crisis as its rule over the country remains unrecognized by the world, has found willing partners in two countries whose trade is severely restricted by international sanctions, Russia and Iran. Moscow joined on the short list of capitals willing to deal with Taliban under the preliminary agreement signed last week. Afghanistan would get 1 million tons of gasoline, 1 million tons of diesel fuel, 500,000 tons of liquefied petroleum gas, and 2 million tons of wheat a year. Taliban Commerce and Industry Minister announced last week. With the deal, Russia joins a small number of countries which are willing to do business with Taliban in terms of export and import. Prominent economists who chairs the Indian-based Independent Energy Institute. Now listen to this. What Russia will get in return for a cash-strapped partner is much less clear, but it appears that agricultural goods and the prospect of full access to Afghanistan's natural resource wealth could be on the table. So basically, Russia is going to get access to trillions of dollars worth of minerals.
Wow.
They're going to get what America was trying to get to. All America got was poppy fields, dope. They became drug dealers over there. They couldn't get access to the minerals. Now it's going to be Russia. Let me show this. And this is the Saudi Arabia minister refusing to answer a question because he said that they feel like they was being disrespectful in the article they written about them having to deal with Russia. and said that at the time that was untrue. So pretty much he was saying, mind your business. We doing what we want to do. We're no longer strapped to United States. Yeah, my bad, Gaddafi. Yeah, I know you're talking about. Saudi Arabia and U.S. discuss military and defense cooperation. Now remember, this is tied to the dollar being backed by the oil. It said discuss the Saudi Arabia-U.S. partnership with American counterpart Lord Austin on Tuesday. By the way, he tweeted this. This was not some conference he did in front of the news media. He tweeted that he talked to the American, what do they call him? A general.
So he wanted it to be known?
He wanted it to be known. Yeah, they call. I answer the phone.
This time.
I answer the phone this time.
I don't know about next time.
They're purposely humiliating them in public constantly. They really don't respect Biden and his administration. They don't think he's going to do shit. France unveils plans to avoid winter power cuts due to Ukraine war. Now remember, France is the place that if you use too much energy, they'll cut your shit off. Or matter of fact, they'll fine you and imprison you. I can't remember the temperature. Was it like 70, 69, something like that?
69 to 67. It was between 66 and 69, I believe.
Yeah. The French government on Thursday launched a package of measures that is cutting the country's energy consumption by 10% in the hope of getting through the winter without power cuts. Energy Transition Minister Ames Pierre-Renoucher told the crowd, which included several cabinet members, business leaders, and other officials, that the target was only the first step toward the objective of cutting energy use by 40% by 2050.
So this is a continued.
So this is not going to be something just for the next couple of years while Russia and Ukraine is going back and forth. This is permanent. This is indefinitely. They want to cut energy use. Once again, this is always about the building up the green energy mafia around the world. This is all about the environmentalists. EU energy pact vital to avert industry decline and unrest, he said. Hold up. I ain't paying for that shit. Europe risks a huge reduction in industrial activity and social unrest if it does not act quickly to bring down energy prices as winter approaches, Belgian Prime Minister has said. Without an intervention on gas markets, we are risking a massive deindustrialization of European continent, and long-term consequences of that might actually be very deep. He's basically saying they're going to get rid of all of industry throughout Europe.
That's what they're working on throughout the whole
planet. We know, but they're saying it publicly, and it's always Europe,
the West.
Yeah, it's always Europe that's willing to say it first. Cause I guess they people are just conditioned to be like, okay, this is normal. He's pretty much saying we're getting rid of all industry on the continent if this doesn't end soon. But he knows it's not. By the way, I didn't know that France had
a prime minister and a president. Kind of weird.
Macron is the president and the woman, she's the prime minister. Plans to deepen Germany Rhine River to combat low water levels hit resistance. So they want to, because this is important for Germany and countries like that as far as trade, they want to make the river deeper so that it'll last in a later seasons. They can still travel and not have to worry about their ships getting stuck. Almost like you're not supposed to be using this to get your goods around.
Exactly.
He said, "Brethren, this is Regina. Brethren, you guys understand world politics well. Is this a personal interest you make a point of studying? Did you guys study in college, civics, law? Oh, nah."
This is just that question,
Regina. This is just reading headlines, paying attention to stuff going on in the world. Hey y'all, I watched the replay. All right, Rosie. Glad you stopped by for a little bit. Say hey.
She said what?
Oh, she said she's gonna watch the replay.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely didn't study this in no college. But I just read headlines and put stuff together. Watch other people who have interest in things, and you learn stuff. That's why we had an episode titled "News is Global." It ain't just what's happening in this country or what's happening to us in particular. There's things that affect us that's happening in other countries.
You to focus on stuff outside of this country.
You said what?
I say this country don't want you to focus on stuff outside this country.
That's what I was saying earlier. Like, we don't have their news on our TV, but our news is on their TV. They know everything about you, but you know nothing what's going on with their countries.
Sky News be going in.
This is why when you talk to somebody from another country, they call you ignorant American and all this other stuff. And it's like, look, man, if you watch cable television, we just don't hear about you. Like, we get news that happen in another state that's more important than what's happening in your country. In this country, they consider that more important. You know?
Well, they're focusing on self.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.